Okay, good morning, everybody. My name's Jan Swartout, and I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company. And I am so honored to be sharing some information with everybody about children and health. And really, my journey started 17 years ago when I did not understand the link between what I was feeding my children and how they felt. And along the way, I have become part of this amazing community with these wonderful women that are going to share information for all of us to benefit from. And I want to start with Amy Brooke Muir, who has several master's degrees. It was extremely successful in the business world and is the stay-at-home, work-from-home mom of three beautiful children. So Amy Brooke, hang on, before you get started, I want to go ahead and do a screen share. Little technical difficulty here. Okay, Amy Brooke, take it away.
All right. Good morning, y'all. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Jan. So I learned about Juice Plus right after my son had turned 1. I had to go back to work full time, and I had to take him to daycare. So my precious little baby boy was being thrown into this daycare full of snotty-nosed, nasty, germy kids. And all I heard were horror stories of how kids get sick and bring it home, and then mom gets sick and dad gets sick, and it's just this vicious cycle of nastiness and germs, and ugh, like who wants that? So thankfully, Jan told me about Juice Plus, and when she told me about the Children's Health Study results, where hundreds and thousands of kids had been studied and boosted immunity and less doctor visits, like all these amazing results, I was like, sign me up. So about 4 months after my little boy had been taking Juice Plus, I went to pick him up from daycare early, and the teacher was swiping all the kids' heads. And y'all, Raylan was the only one who did not have a temperature. So needless to say, we've been on it ever since, and we will never miss a day. So fast forward, that 1-year-old little baby boy is now almost 6, and we have twin girls who are now almost 3. And I feel so blessed that they have never been sick. Oh, Jan, you can go back to the other slide. But seriously, they've never been sick, and we've only been to the pediatrician for well visits. It's awesome. So that top left picture, that's me pregnant. I was 34 weeks pregnant with the twins. I had an amazing twin pregnancy. Top right, I want to share some tips with you guys because I feel like it's so nice to hear from other mamas. But that's my little baby girl who is trying to get every last bit of that smoothie down. And it's so easy to put in fruits and veggies in a smoothie. She has no idea that she's getting in beets and acai and blueberries and blackberries. So that's such an easy way to throw it in. And you can do green smoothies, like Shrek smoothies with kale and spinach. It's so nice. And then I always get the kids involved in the kitchen. When kids are able to physically make their own food, they're so much more likely to eat it. And there's Raylan cutting up his Brussels sprouts, eating them, and yeah, it's awesome. All right, next slide, please, Jan. Another awesome thing that I like to do is I call them graze trays, where I get out a muffin tin and I fill it up with tons of pretty food, fruits, veggies, hummus, snacks, like nuts, whatever. Throw it on the coffee table when the kids are playing, and they'll devour those fruits and veggies. Top right is my son who just rode home from school, and he was eating kale straight from the tower. So I feel like tower to table is such an awesome way to teach your kids the value and how to grow their own food. The bottom right is a bento box. So my son loves to make his lunch boxes, and it's kind of like a fun game where the more color, the better. So that's always really, really fun to get them involved again with the food. And then the bottom left, that is my sweet daughter. We love doing yoga together, but I think it just goes to show that kids are truly watching everything we do. Everything we do. So we really need to be the inspiration and the role models that we want them to see. So speaking of inspirational mamas, I want to pass it over to my friend Sarah. She's actually my sorority sister, sweet friend, mama of 3, and she lives in Chicago.
I had to unmute myself. Thanks, Amy. You're the inspiration. I could never have done that yoga pose, pregnant, let alone with twins. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit. So Amy is the one that kind of introduced me to Juice Plus, her and another sorority sister of mine, or ours. And, she said children's health study, and she said free and fruits and vegetables, which my stepson and my daughter, who was just starting on solids, they made those ugly little faces when anything green hit the plate. And I was like, okay, yeah, sign me up. And I will have you know that I think it was like, gosh, I don't even know if it was 2 months after them starting on their little gummies. My stepson told his park district soccer coach that broccoli was his favorite food when asked. And that's after one of the kids said hot dogs and another said cookies. So there were options out there, but he chose broccoli. We call them little trees in our house, which brings me to some tips I wanted to share. Amy kind of hit on some. I love to get the kids involved. I love to make it fun, and I love to make it available. So there, Jan put up a picture of apple cookies. Apple picking is a big thing here in the Midwest, and every year we go with my family. So to me, that's kind of hitting all of the things. Not only is it fun because it's a whole day trip and we ride the tractors out to the orchard, but it's available. The kids can pick it right there, and they're obviously getting really involved. And then when we bring home the bushels of apples, like anything that has to do with those apples, they just feel so like prideful in, and they just want to eat them right away. So, we do make an apple pie or two, but we try and stick to healthy as much as we can. And I found these on Pinterest, which is a huge resource of mine that I use to kind of come up with fun, new creative ideas. We just put some nut butter, and you can top them with anything. This has chocolate chips. We did some coconut flakes and raisins to make it even a tad healthier. And then I think Jen has another slide. For the holidays, we are having a party, and I was going to try my best. I don't know, it might be a Pinterest fail, but I'm going to try my best to mimic that Santa over there with all the yummy veggies. And then actually the other day we made ornaments. That is not my picture. My kids were not quite as neat as that picture. But it doesn't matter. They had fun, and they're learning, and they're eating healthy things, and that's all that counts. And some other things I wanted to talk about as far as getting them involved. I am the crazy mom that takes all 3 of my kids to the grocery store and is like pushing and pulling 2 different carts because they're 3 kids, 4 and under. But I think it's so important, and I want them to be there and to pick the fruits and vegetables and to see, and they ask me, what is this, if they see something they don't recognize, and they're the ones making suggestions and telling me we need more bananas or we need more cucumbers. So I think it's really important for them to get involved from start to finish, literally grocery store to prepping the food to eating it then on the plate. And then also as far as making it available, I like to have a shelf in the pantry. That's what I call kid height or toddler height. And that has all of the kids' snacks on it. And so if they can reach it, they will. And they are getting at that age where they've been figuring out how to open things on their own. So I only stock that shelf with things I would want my kids to eat. If there are cookies in the house, then they're on the very top shelf where I can barely reach them because I don't want to reach them, and it's just for my husband if it's his secret stash. And the kids' stuff is just going to be, boxes of raisins or craisins or little things I put together. And then the same thing goes inside the refrigerator. Look at the height of where your produce drawer is. It's a perfect height for kids. So I know it can be tough to keep it stocked all the time, but I really try my best to always keep that stocked because my kids are going to go in there and grab that right away. So I have it stocked with washed berries and clementines and all sorts of goodness. And then as far as even being active, like beyond nutrition, we do our best to stay active as a family, bike rides. We've started a new thing where instead of like a timeout, if, you know, someone's getting a little overwhelmed with their emotions at that toddler age, we tell them to go climb the flight of stairs up and down like 5 times, because really activity can like just refocus their energy, and it makes it fun, and it's not that kind of harsh stigma as a timeout. So there's all sorts of fun creative ideas. I like to post a lot on social media. It's a great resource, like I said. And I just wanted to mention all this because Juice Plus goes far beyond just a product. It is so much a community, and I would have never thought of half of these ideas or implemented them in my home had it not been introduced to me in this community. So I'm so grateful for it.
Oh, Sarah, that is so fabulous. Thank you so much. I love the fact that you're right. Excuse me. What we have here is absolutely a community. And the ideas that you're sharing are things that anyone can implement. Just sometimes it takes a little bit of, you know, stop, think what's the next best step. But these positive parenting skills, like sending your kids up and down the stairs instead of putting them in timeout, that just totally warms my heart. And these pictures are fabulous. I know what I used to do when my kids were little is I always took whatever produce I had in the refrigerator and I would cut it up and I just toss it on a dinner plate, and it would be on the island when they'd come in from school, and they would immediately come in and start grabbing baby carrots and celery sticks and, hey mom, what's for snack, as they're eating what I wanted them to eat, right? And I will tell you secretly that works for husbands too. Did I just say that? If it's out, they eat it, right? So it's all a blessing. And what I love is I want to talk a little bit about the variety, because, you know, we've mentioned Juice Plus a little. I know in our house we do eat very well, but we don't always get that variety, and the variety isn't always available. And so here's the 30 fruits, veggies, and berries that make up Juice Plus. And I always like to go to cranberries because I know we love cranberries, but we ate them a couple days last month in November, and that's probably really the only time we're going to eat them throughout the year. So I love the fact that we do get this variety. And that brings me to introduce Miss Becca Blair. Becca is an ICU RN. She specialized in neurocare. And she also has a lot of experience with women's health and baby well care, which is fabulous. She is a mom of 4 beautiful children and has a passion for wellness. So Becca, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi guys, thanks Jan. Oh, it's so fun to be on this call. So I am going to tell you a little bit about something that I love with Juice Plus, and that's the research behind it. So as Jan said, my background is in nursing, and so when I learned about Juice Plus and I learned that there was research behind it, that's what made me give it a valid look through. So we have over 20 years of research behind us and 37 and counting research studies. Now, the awesome thing about our research studies is that they are done third party. They're done pretty much the gold standard of research, like placebo-controlled, double-blind. Many of them are peer-reviewed. And they're done at amazing research centers and universities like Yale, MD Anderson, like not small potatoes, right? So that part I love, because I know that this product that I'm putting in our bodies has been proven to be beneficial to every cell in our body. So what led me, oh yes, look at that, you guys, like nothing. I have not found anything out there that has the research behind it that Juice Plus does. So a little bit about my story and what led us to start Juice Plus is I was the reason we started it. After my 4th baby, I had a really severe postpartum preeclampsia. My blood pressures were 200s over 100s. And then months afterwards, I was still on a good day running 150s over 80s, which is just not healthy. Here I was a young mom. I was running 15 miles a week prior to pregnancy, really considered my family healthy. And this was a really hard blow and a big change for me. So after looking at the research, I decided I absolutely needed to take the product to try to heal my blood pressure. But I also saw that there were obviously where we were not getting the 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables that's recommended. So the whole family went on it. I mean, the kids are free, so that's a no-brainer. So within 2 months, you guys, my blood pressure came down back to 100/60, which was my normal. And I felt good because I felt crummy when it was high. And it's really hard to not have energy and feel bad with 4 kids. So with my kids, you know, the whole focus was myself and what is it going to do on me? But I can't even tell you how grateful I am for my kids and the things that we've seen there. There's no more constipation across the board, never. My 8-year-old had a really in-depth GI history being a baby, and he had ongoing reflux. And actually right around the time we started Juice Plus, he had stopped eating for 2 weeks because his reflux was so severe. So after going on Juice Plus, we were able to get him off his medications for reflux. And, you know, in the past year, he's only asked for a TUM 1 time, which is incredible because that was a daily thing for him. And so knowing that we've actually helped cure the inflammation that he had chronically is just, it's priceless. It's just absolutely priceless. And then I also had a 5-year-old with really severe eczema. He scratched his legs to bleeding, and I had tried everything. And within that first 4-month period, it was gone. He no longer was sitting there scratching all the time. So all of those 3 things were just absolutely phenomenal. But the other thing that Juice Plus I feel like really did for us is it just was this catalyst to this whole healthy family change. They say that your taste changed on Juice Plus, and I absolutely watched that happen within my family. So, you know, just one little story I have to share with you is I typically would cook a spaghetti squash with myself and whole grain pasta for the family. And after we had been on Juice Plus for a couple months, I made that same dish. And in the past, no one liked the spaghetti squash. And this time, everyone devoured my spaghetti squash and didn't eat the noodles. And so I just laughed. And I was like, oh, what they say is true. Our tastes have changed, which is just incredible. And along the same lines, with that, I heard a statement once. This is my healthy mom tip for you guys. I heard a statement that if you're not hungry enough for an apple, then you're not hungry. And I really adopted that with my kids. And when they're hungry for snacks, they are welcome to as much fresh fruit and veggies as we have, the healthy snacks. That's just what I buy now. And so it's not a battle of, no, you can't have that. But this was really the catalyst that almost made us more focused. And then also just gave me the power to say, no, I'm not buying that. And this is the stuff you can eat. And it's really just been phenomenal. Oh, and the other thing I didn't mention is the amount of water they drink is huge. My daughter calls them thirst attacks. So I'm no longer, oh, drink your water with your meal, you know, like they just fill their water bottles all day and drink it. It's not a big deal at all. So the last product that I'm really excited I get to tell you about is our new omegas. They are plant-based. So we bypass the fish. So no fish burps, no concern of mercury, none of that stuff. And we went straight to the algae. So these omegas contain 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, which is how they are naturally found in nature. And they're amazing. And you guys, these omegas have something in them. We have this like little essential oil in them. And so for kids, like you can just have them bite them open and eat them. And it's fine because it's kind of a larger pill, but they're just amazing, an amazing, amazing product that we offer now. And so next, you guys get to hear from my really, really good friend. And her name is Angie Conter. She is incredible. She's a mom of 10. I will let that sink in for just a moment. And I will answer, I know your questions. No twins, and they're all her own. She gave birth to them all. And so now Angie holds a doctorate degree in naturopathic medicine. So I'm really excited for us to hear her input on all of this.
Thank you so much, Becca. I love the overview of the research. It truly was what compelled me to get started on Juice Plus. I feel like I was probably one of the largest skeptics that I have run across. I needed to read each piece of literature myself, and so I really appreciate that overview. Like Becca said, my background is in naturopathic medicine, and when I heard about Juice Plus, it made so much sense. I knew it was something that we needed to get started on, and we just weren't eating the variety, yet alone the amount of produce that we needed to be consuming. And when we would get sick with this size of a family, we would be out of commission for easily, a month because it would have to cycle through everybody, and then it may or may not repeat. So when we got started, it was after me reading all the research, going through all the immune studies. And one of the things that really interested me about the immune studies is that it brought all parameters into a good balance. So people who had autoimmune disorders didn't need to be fearful of consuming Juice Plus because it wasn't going to heighten their immune system. It just brings it into balance. And so we got started, and within probably the first month, we got a cold. And I can't even tell you how disappointed I was when this was the main reason that we went on Juice Plus. But we couldn't have everybody on at the same time initially. And so we kind of had our own little population control study going on because we did everything together. We homeschool, and so we were always in the same environment. We were always eating the same food. There really were no variables in this little population of people. And so those that were on the Juice Plus, it was just minor sniffles for maybe 3 days. And those that were off of the Juice Plus, it ended up being a yucky respiratory bug for about 2 weeks. And that was, I mean, you can read all the research yourself. And I feel like that's critical because we can go through that and see the absolute cut and dry facts, okay? But when you see that research played out in the people that you love, it is life altering. And that truly is what happened for me. Now my journey from my background was also in respiratory therapy. And so my journey went from allopathic medicine to naturopathic medicine. And I feel like there's always a place for allopathic medicine. I have nothing against it. And there's still things that I absolutely love about it. But what I learned is that allopathic medicine was truly all about prescribing pharmaceuticals. And then as I began to study naturopathic medicine, I was a bit disillusioned there as well because they so often just prescribe supplements. And I really didn't like either camp. But as I journeyed with Juice Plus and I had both of these backgrounds coming together, my passion for food just became more and more intense. And I really began to see how food can there's always a consequence for everything in life. I tell my kids that all the time, good and bad, right? And so food will every bite that we're putting in is either healing or it's hurting. There doesn't seem to really be a middle ground. And we can say, oh, well, we're just going to have a little candy here, a little candy there. And don't get me wrong, with 10 kids, I definitely understand we have to compromise. I mean, we have to come up with things that are realistic to live life with our kids and the rest of society, right? But as far as our home goes, it really became a solid ground, like everyone else was sharing, of here's where the produce is and here's what we can do, and really an educational piece for all of my kids. We began reading food labels. Like Sarah was sharing, all of my kids go grocery shopping with me. Now, of course, not my big ones anymore, but we would go grocery shopping all the time together, and for them to be able to look at the labels and just picking out key ingredients to eliminate, high fructose corn syrup, anything with nitrates or artificial anything. And if it's artificial flavor, if it's artificial, coloring, anything is going to really be a detriment to their systems. And so my kids really became aware of that, and they would begin reading labels. And so really living our lives with our kids in this journey is huge, because they need to understand the why. Needless to say, the Children's Health Study is just an awesome opportunity to take advantage of, because kids ages 4 to 18 or full-time undergrads are able to get their Juice Plus for free with a sponsoring adult. And it doesn't have to be a parent, but it is ideal if it's a parent, just because then they're in the same household. This study has been going on for nearly 20 years, and you can see all of the benefits that are taking place. I mean, 96% of people see some sort of benefit. And you've heard the stories, people eating more fruits and veggies, their taste changing, and the idea behind the taste changing is really that our cells are getting the nutrients that they need to eliminate toxins and to truly grow new healthy cells. And so they begin craving that. And as they crave that, then our bodies are increasing a demand for that. One thing, I'm sorry, Jan, I forgot to mention, but back on the other slide, pregnancy. Okay, so I had 6 non-Juice Plus babies and then 4 Juice Plus babies. So again, I kind of have my own study going on. And I can't even tell you, I always had great pregnancies. Pregnancy and I, obviously, we get along real well, right? But it was really powerful for me to see that even my last baby was born at 44 years of age. And really everything should be going down, not getting better. I mean, that would just be the laws of nature, right? So as I got older, well, I've always had a hard time with the postpartum recovery. And as I got older, I thought, well, it's certainly not going to get any better. But after we started Juice Plus, it was amazing how much better I felt. I felt like I could get up and going again. I could go grocery shopping sooner. I could, have my kids come along with me again. Life just came together so much easier postpartum wise, and the healing and all of that. And then the second most powerful piece for me was nursing. I used to say I only produced skim milk because every time I would pump, it was just like this blue, pale liquid. And yet after Juice Plus, I went to whole milk, and it was nice and creamy and wonderful. And Juice Plus was it. That was what changed. And so we always like to encourage everybody that these aren't guarantees. I mean, if you want guarantees, you go back to the research, and that's where you camp. We can guarantee that all of those things will happen for you. But I do love the stories because you never know what's going to happen in your body. You never know what Juice Plus is going to do. I've seen so many incredible things with cardiac and immune and dental health. I mean, you can go through every piece of that research and see those things pop up with everybody. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for listening. I would like to introduce the amazing Kelly Mulliken. She is a nurse practitioner, and she works in hospice and palliative care, and she is the mother of almost 3-year-old twins. Don't worry, Juice Plus isn't going to necessarily give you twins, as you see them going on in our panelists today. But Kelly, if you would like to share a little bit more with us, we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on this call with all of you wonderful moms. You all inspire me, and I'm grateful for you. So yes, Angie's correct. I am a nurse practitioner. I currently work in hospice and palliative care, so I am no stranger to chronic, long-term illnesses, diseases that will take my patients' lives. And for me, more importantly than being a nurse practitioner, I am a mother, just like Angie said, to twin girls, almost 3. And about 10 months ago, I was actively looking for something for them. I was getting ready to put them into daycare. I was going back to work part-time. So I was scanning the internet, looking for something that would help build their immunity. I said, okay, here we go. We're putting them in daycare. I know what's getting ready to happen. They're going to be sick all the time. I hear all these horror stories. And at that time, Juice Plus found me. And I cannot say it a million times over. I am forever grateful that it found me. And it just completely changed things for me. Changed the nutritional direction of our family. I was taking the product also, just like what the other moms have said, about 4 to 5 weeks. I said, oh my gosh, I'm like craving salads. And I was not a poor eater, but not a great eater. And I'm like, if this is happening to me, I know this is happening to my children. So I was the mom where we were having green beans, corn, occasionally carrots. I felt like I was doing good if I threw in some carrots there. We had berries in the morning, bananas, just the basics. And I said, if this is happening, this is the time I need to make the changes. This is where I can change the direction of the way that we're headed, So I said, that's it. We started incorporating a wider variety of fruits and veggies. I started experimenting more, cooking different things, and they were eating it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I was eating it. I'm like, here I am, in my late 30s, and I'm eating foods that I've never eaten, nothing towards my mother, but she didn't know either. So in the last 10 months, we have grown together as a family. My mom's learning from me, which is crazy. I'm teaching my girls something totally different. And you would think that with a medical, degree, nurse practitioner, that I would have had some type of education in nutrition. I had one semester, like when I was 19 or 20. I mean, how much really sinks in when you're in school at that point. But that's it. You know, and the doctors that I work with, I asked them, did you get a lot on nutrition? No, they did not. And so starting Juice Plus, noticing the changes in myself and my children completely opened the door to see that food can cure diseases. Food, proper nutrition can prevent chronic diseases. And, you know, it's some things you cannot prevent, but you can definitely prevent the severity of things. It's forever changed me. You know, the nutrition or the research, once I really looked into that, sold. That's all I needed to see. Just forever grateful. And I'll never miss a day of my Juice Plus. My girls will never miss a day. The past 8-9 months, they've had, just like what Angie was saying, sniffles, like they'll get a runny nose. I kind of give them a little bit extra of their gummies. I'll take some extra capsules if I'm feeling under the weather, and it's gone in a day. Whereas before it was a full-blown week and a half, we were down, fevers, high fever, nothing like that anymore. So, you know, I can't say it enough how grateful I am. And now I just purchased it. So after the holidays, my girls and I are setting that up together. We're going to learn together to grow, you know, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. We'll be able to power. I mean, I am changing my girls' health, their nutrition, and their children. So just generations and generations. And then when I share my love of this, even after 10 months, I'm helping change other families. You know, I am changing their generation to follow. So I can't keep quiet about it. It's just ignited something in me that I'll never turn back. Juice Plus forever for me and my family. And these women have just brought me into their community. They share. I learn from them every day. Definitely not perfect, but every day I'm growing into a better mother, a better example, and just forever grateful.
Wow, Kelly, that's awesome. Actually, all of your stories and your experiences have been just phenomenal. And I know we are gifting other parents that are watching now and will watch in the, you know, in the future. Kelly, you touched on our community, and we like to say it's a healthy living community. And really, we have resources for you. We have programs available. I would love for you to check out our website. We have we have our fabulous website, which is healthylivingrevolution.com. And also we do have a lot of programs that we would like to have you participate and join in on. Possibly you're wanting to shred with us in January, or maybe you just want to make one simple change. We have our Start Strong program for young children. And, you know, if you're sitting here listening to how you want to join us, we're always looking for like-minded people to share this journey with us. So you can join us on our mission as well. And I want to leave you with like a quick video in terms of really why do we do this? Why are we all, you know, why are we doing this? You had the opportunity to hear from Amy Brooke and Angie and Becca and Kelly and Sarah, and I want you to hear from some others, because really when it comes right down to it, if you're a parent, nothing changes your life more than when they hand you that baby. So hang with me, and there's a quick 2-minute video.
Dear Zach, when I saw your eyes open for the first time, I knew my life would change forever. I realized from that moment on, you were my responsibility. That it was my job to help you make the right decisions and set you up for success.
And while I wonder who you'll become, I know that whatever path you take, that you're going to make a difference in this world. That you're going to do something that truly matters. And as I I write this letter, I realize that I'm far from perfect. But I'm going to do my best to give you the tools to help you be successful, happy, healthy. Now the rest, that's going to be up to you.
Yes, there will be plenty of victories to celebrate.
But know that your struggles will also be our struggles.
I'll be the coach who inspires you to start moving, the one who gets you to stop texting and make a connection in the real world, not just a virtual one.
And when you refuse to eat your vegetables for the 100th time, just know that I'll be there, helping you make the right decisions, whether you like it or not. Because I care about you way too much to let you make the same mistakes that I made.
See, that's why I want you to grow up with confidence, to be comfortable in your own skin.
Loving you, focusing on the little things in life that make a big difference.
Those little things, they end up becoming who we are.
I know you will make us proud.
I hope you're just as proud of me.
Love, Mom and Dad.
I love Dad.
Love, Mom.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope that you picked up a couple of tips, and have a great day.